Hello and welcome to Bizworld. The Malaysia-China Chamber of Commerce MCCC hopes Malaysia and China could establish common understanding about the East Coast Rail Link ECRL and other relevant projects to minimize losses or achieve a win-win solution. It said these would create a friendly investment and economic environment for all foreign investors, including from China. In a statement, the Chamber said the move is expected to become a successful model for China to negotiate with other countries along the Belt and Road Initiative. The MCCC also called on the non-governmental individuals and organizations to give sufficient time and space for both governments to manage issues surrounding ECRL and allow the governing authorities to carry out their negotiations. The Chamber is confident that both governments are careful in managing the ECRL issues as it involves the good ties between Malaysia and China. The 688-kilometre-long ECRL project was launched on August 9, 2017 and slated for completion in 2024. However, the 81 billion ringgit project was currently under review by the government. The ringgit may advance gradually to breach the psychological level of 4 against the US dollar again and continue its strengthening path to 3.8 by year end. According to RHB Research, Malaysia's heightened forex reserves and the dovish tone set by the US Federal Reserve are lending support to the domestic unit. Malaysia's forex reserves rose $700 million to $102.1 billion as of January 31st, 2019, after falling $600 million in December 2018. In a note today, the research house said the ringgit is expected to continue its strengthening path to 3.8 versus the US dollar by end of 2019. This is due to the dollar's weakness on expectations that the US Fed may pause its rate hike stance following signs of slowing US economic growth. Also citing figures from Bank Negara Malaysia, it said the rising forex reserves was likely driven by the continued accumulation of surplus in the current account. As of 5 p.m., the local unit traded at 4.068 against the greenback. Malaysia is capable of achieving gross domestic product GDP growth of between 4.8 and 4.9% in 2018. Deputy Minister of International Trade and Industry Ong Kian Ming said this is based on the stronger economic figures released recently.
As a result of the IPI figures, some banks such as Standard Chartered have also shown some optimism towards the GDP figures growth for 2019 as well. So even with the challenges of the US-China trade war, I do believe very much that the manufacturing sector will continue to drive our exports and drive the economy.
He was speaking after a luncheon talk organized by Malaysian Industrial Development Finance Berhad MIDF earlier today. Bank Negara Malaysia will announce the fourth quarter of 2018 GDP data tomorrow. Meanwhile, Ong said the country would be able to weather challenges and grow further this year with good policies in place. Meanwhile, commenting on the establishment of the Economic Action Council EAC, Ong said it will allow the Ministry of International Trade and Industry MITI to contribute views on the country's economic policies. MITI's involvement, he said, would also contribute to better jobs offerings in the country, especially for the B40 segment.
Because that's an area that our government wants to focus on. It's something that perhaps was not given enough attention in the past. This is something that we want to make sure that we don't lose sight of this very important part.
He pointed out that EAC members were made up of both government, distinguished intellectuals and policymakers who would provide valuable and holistic inputs on policies that Malaysia required. This includes the MITI Minister Dato' Darrell Liking, who has been appointed as one of the EAC members. And that wraps up Bizworld this time around. I'm Ganai Ling. Thank you for investing your time with us.